February 22nd, Friday, 1878. I was in my study drinking cognac when I heard a knocking on my door. I insisted the inquirer come in. It was my maid, Fraser. I could only have assumed she had just been from Charlotte's room. She was constantly taking care of the child, especially since Lottie's death over a week ago.
Meister?
Fraser started trying to compose herself and not show me any weakness.
The kleine Charlotte still isn't eating. She wouldn't even come downstairs for supper, so I brought some soup up for her, but she won't touch it.
I sighed and dismissed her, taking another sip of my cognac. I made my way to Charlotte's room and entered, seeing the child laying across the floor with the blankest expression I have ever seen on her face, and has been there since death. I began to speak to her. I hear you're still not eating, kleines Mädchen. You know this will kill you should you continue to refuse food, right? Her face was so soft and frail, almost as though she couldn't speak. But she still managed to say,
"Would it be bad if I died? Heidi and Mare died, but you don't act like it's a bad thing."
I was a bit startled by her words at first. Never had I heard Charlotte speak in such a way. I didn't know what it was, but I didn't like the idea of losing this child. Usually I would say waste away if you're so adamant on doing so, but it'd be disheartening not to see your smiling face within this manner anymore. Will you eat, for my sake, so that I don't have to face this place without you? I leaned over to the child and gently said to her, I'll tell you what, if you eat all 3 of your meals tomorrow, I'll take you out on Sunday to get some ice cream with me. We could go to the park as well, or anywhere else you'd like, and stay out all day. It'd be just the 2 of us. No vata und tocha. How does that sound?
Really?
Something new peeked in her eyes, as there was a life speaking in them. Yes, but you need to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And I will be checking with the maids to ensure you have. Plus, you must eat tonight's dinner. I used a stern voice to show the girl I meant business. Charlotte began to prop herself up as she asked,
"Will you eat with me, Vata?"
I can't guarantee that I can, but I'll try. Now eat your dinner, or I won't go out of my way to eat with you. She sat up and put the bowl on her lap, clasping her hands together in prayer.
"Blessed are you, Lord our God, King of the..."
Rolling my eyes and cut her off. You really needn't pray. If God does exist, I don't think he has the habit of answering or listening to prayers that come from this house. Charlotte let out a sigh as she responded,
"I suppose I should wish there is no heaven, because that means there is no hell, and then they do not suffer even in the afterlife."
Eat, mein Kind. I placed my hand on my head, patting her hair in encouragement. With much hesitation, she finally put a spoonful in her mouth and roughly swallowed it. Just that little act looks like it pained her. I began to pat her head to reinforce her action. Very good, mein kleines Mädchen. Without much warning, Charlotte began to tear up and cry.
"It's hot. I want to eat, but I don't feel hunger."
Sniffling and heavily breathing, she wiped her tears from her eyes and snot from her nose. It is something that happens to some humans during their times of melancholy or grief. It will pass, and you will be able to eat normally and smile as you had before. I took the bowl from her lap and placed it on the floor.
"But I barely finished."
I know, but I didn't want to cause a mess.
"Mess?"
I gave her a conspicuously alarming look as she stared back in confusion. I leaned over and began tickling the child until she laughed very hard, writhing under my touch. I stopped and placed her on my lap, saying, See? I said your smile would return. Charlotte couldn't stop giggling.
"That's cheating."
Oh, is it now? Well, you are still smiling without me tickling you now, aren't you? I picked up the bowl and began to lift it toward her. You don't have to eat all of it, just as much as you can without vomiting. Do you think you can try to eat at least half? The child nodded her head cheerfully. Good. I scooped a spoonful of the soup. Now say, nah. She gladly opened her mouth as she said,
Ah.
and managed to finish a little over half the bowl.